I sit in my empty apartment staring at the engagement ring I can't bring myself to take off yet. The silence is deafening. Maya, honey, are you there? My mom's voice echoes from my phone, which I've been ignoring for the past hour. I pick it up reluctantly. I'm here, Mom. Your father and I are worried sick. What happened? David called us this morning saying the wedding was off, but he wouldn't explain why. I close my eyes, remembering last Tuesday morning when everything was still perfect. I was standing in front of the mirror, adjusting my silk blouse before heading to Morrison Marketing Agency. Have fun, but not too much fun, David had said, kissing my forehead with that trusting smile that now haunts my dreams. I love you, Maya Chen, future Mrs. Reynolds. I love you too, I'd replied, never imagining those would be some of the last loving words we'd exchange. Maya? Talk to me, sweetheart. Mom, I can't explain right now. Is this about your bachelorette party? Sarah called asking if you were okay. She said you disappeared Saturday night. My stomach drops. Sarah Martinez, my best friend who'd planned everything for months. She's the kind of friend who goes overboard with everything. Maya, you need to loosen up. I can still hear her voice from that night. This is your last night of freedom. I need to go, Mom. Wait, what about Emma? She's been trying to reach you. And Jessica called too. I hang up. Emma Williams, my maid of honor, was supposed to keep things under control. David's younger sister Jessica was there too, which should have been my first warning to behave. But I was too confident in my self-control. I was the responsible one, the planner, the one who always did the right thing. How wrong I was about myself. How completely, devastatingly wrong. The music pounds through my skull as I remember that Saturday night at Velvet Lounge. The bass had thrummed through my chest as I laughed with my girls, feeling more carefree than I had in months. Maya, you need to loosen up, Sarah had shouted over the music, pressing another cocktail into my hands. This is your last night of freedom. I should have said no. I should have remembered David waiting at home, probably watching Netflix and thinking about our wedding. Instead, I downed the drink and felt the alcohol blur the edges of my judgment. That's when I saw him, Ryan Torres, the bartender with the devastating smile and the kind of confidence that draws you in like a magnet. What can I get the beautiful bride? He asked when I approached the bar, his voice smooth like expensive whiskey. I'm not married yet, I heard myself say, and I knew in that moment I was in trouble. Emma tried to pull me away. Maya, come dance with us. Forget about drinks for a while. Come on, Em, let me talk to the cute bartender, I laughed, already feeling dizzy. But I was already lost in Ryan's attention. He listened when I complained about wedding stress, nodded sympathetically when I mentioned feeling trapped by everyone's expectations. You know what you need, he said, leaning closer. An adventure, something just for you. Melissa, my college friend who'd flown in just for the party, noticed me talking to Ryan and gave me a warning look. Maya, remember why we're here, she mouthed across the crowded space. But the alcohol had loosened more than just my tongue. It had loosened my grip on the life I'd built so carefully. Want to get some air? Ryan asked. Yes, I said without thinking. Let's walk to the beach nearby. It's beautiful at night. I followed. When he kissed me under the starlight, I kissed him back. My place isn't far from here, he whispered against my lips. And when he asked if I wanted to go back to his apart, meant I made the worst decision of my life. Yes, I whispered. Yes. I wake up in sheets that aren't mine, in a room I don't recognize, with a splitting headache and a growing sense of horror. The morning sun streams through unfamiliar curtains. Then it all comes rushing back. Ryan is already awake, sitting on the edge of the bed with his back to me. Good morning, beautiful, he says without turning around, and the casual way he says it makes my stomach turn. I need to go, I whisper, frantically searching for my clothes. My hands shake as I pull on my dress from the night before, the red one David had said was his favorite. Hey, relax, Ryan says, finally turning to face me. In the harsh morning light, he looks different, less charming, more ordinary. Last night was incredible. We should do this again sometime. No, I say firmly, finding my purse and checking for my phone. 12 missed calls from Sarah, 8 from Emma, 3 from David. My heart sinks lower with each notification. Last night was a mistake. A huge mistake. Ryan's expression shifts, becoming colder. That's not what you said when you were begging me to. Stop, I cut him off, grabbing my shoes. Just stop. I'm getting married in 5 days. This never happened. He laughs bitterly. Right, the perfect bride act. I get it. Don't worry, sweetheart. Your secret's safe with me. I'm serious. This stays between us. Of course it does. I'm not interested in ruining your little fairy tale. I run out of his apartment, barely making it to the elevator before the tears start. In the lobby, I call an Uber with trembling fingers. My phone buzzes with a text from Sarah. Where are you? We covered for you with David. Told him you went back to the hotel early with a headache. Call me. As I sit in the back of that Uber, watching the city wake up around me, I know this secret will eat me alive. I've betrayed the one person who trusted me completely. I've thrown away everything for one night of selfish, reckless behavior. Everything okay back there? The driver asks, glancing at me in the rearview mirror. Fine, I lie, wiping my tears. Just tired. I think I can bury it, pretend it never happened, and move forward with my wedding. I'm wrong about that too. For 3 days, I live with the weight of my betrayal crushing my chest. Every time David smiles at me, every time he talks excitedly about our wedding, I feel the secret growing heavier. You've been quiet lately, babe, David says Wednesday evening as we go over the final guest count with his mother, Patricia Reynolds. She's a sharp woman who's never fully approved of me, and I'm terrified she can see the guilt written all over my face. Just wedding nerves, I lie, forcing a smile. Everything's happening so fast. David reaches over and squeezes my hand. I know it's overwhelming, but after Saturday, we'll be husband and wife. Nothing else matters. His words are like daggers. Tyler, David's best man and childhood friend, is there too, going over bachelor party plans. Can't believe you're tying the knot, man, Tyler laughs, slapping David's shoulder. Last chance for freedom. I don't need freedom from Maya, David says, looking at me with such love that I want to disappear. She's everything I want. Maya barely touched her dinner, Patricia observes with those hawk-like eyes of hers. Are you feeling all right, dear? I'm fine, I manage, excusing myself to the bathroom where I splash cold water on my face and stare at my reflection. The woman looking back at me is a stranger, a cheater, a liar, someone I never thought I could become. My phone buzzes with a text from Sarah. You sure you're okay? You've been weird since the party. I type back quickly. Just wedding stress. I'm fine. But I'm not fine. I can't eat, can't sleep, can't focus on anything except the horrible secret burning inside me. Maya? David's voice comes through the bathroom door. You okay in there? Coming, I call back, trying to steady my voice. That night, as David sleeps peacefully beside me, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I keep thinking about Ryan, about what he said in the morning, about the way he looked at me like I was just another conquest. I should have known then that secrets like this don't stay buried. I should have known that Ryan Torres wasn't the type to let things go quietly. Friday afternoon, exactly 24 hours before my wedding, my world implodes. I'm at Bella's bridal salon with my mom, Linda Chen, Sarah, and Emma for my final dress fitting when my phone rings. Unknown number. Maya Chen? The voice is unfamiliar but official sounding. Yes, this is Maya. This is Detective Morrison with the Metro Police. We need to speak with you regarding an incident at Velvet Lounge last Saturday night. My blood turns to ice. I don't understand. Ma'am, we have security footage of you leaving the establishment with Ryan Torres. He's been arrested for assault, and we need your statement as a potential witness. My mom is watching me with growing concern as I step away from the group. There must be some mistake, I whisper into the phone. No mistake, ma'am. The footage is quite clear. We'll need you to come in today, if possible. After I hang up, my hands are shaking so badly I can barely hold the phone. Sarah immediately comes over. Maya, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. I need to tell you something, I whisper, pulling her aside. About Saturday night. About what really happened. What do you mean? You went back to the hotel with a headache. No, Sarah, I didn't. I left with someone, with the bartender. Her face goes through a series of emotions, shock, disappointment, and finally, anger. Maya, what the hell were you thinking? She hisses. Your wedding is tomorrow. I know it was stupid, but nothing. You cheated on David, and now this guy is arrested? For what? Before I can answer, my phone rings again. This time it's David. Hey babe, I just got the weirdest call from some detective asking about you in Velvet Lounge. I told him there must be some mistake because you went back to the hotel early that night. His voice is confused but still trusting. Right? I close my eyes, feeling everything I've built crumbling around me. David, Maya? His voice changes, becoming sharper. Right? The silence stretches between us like a chasm. In that moment, I realize I have a choice. Lie to him one more time, or finally tell the truth. David, I need to see you. We need to talk. I've never seen David cry before that afternoon. We sit in his car outside the bridal salon because I can't bear to have this conversation in front of everyone. The words come out in a broken rush. The drinking, Ryan, the terrible decision, the secret I've carried for a week. You slept with someone else, he says quietly, staring straight ahead through the windshield. 6 days before our wedding, you slept with a complete stranger. David, please let me explain. Explain what? He turns to look at me then, and the pain in his eyes nearly breaks me. Explain how the woman I've loved for 3 years, the woman I was going to marry tomorrow, betrayed everything we built together? It didn't mean anything. I'm crying now, desperate. I was drunk, I was stupid. It was just one mistake. One mistake? His voice rises. Maya, you made 1,000 choices that night. You chose to keep drinking. You chose to talk to him. You chose to leave with him. You chose to go to his apartment. You chose to get in his bed. Which one of those was the mistake? I have no answer for that. Each word is true. Each choice had led to the next. The detective said he's been arrested for assault, David continues, his voice hollow. What did he do to you, Maya? Nothing, I whisper. It wasn't about me. There was another woman last month. I had to give a statement because the security footage showed I left with him. David laughs, but it's the bitterest sound I've ever heard. So not only did you cheat on me, but you did it with a violent criminal. Perfect. David, please. I can't even look at you right now. He starts the car. Get out. Where are you going? To cancel our wedding. To call everyone and tell them why. His voice is deadly calm now, which is somehow worse than if he'd been yelling. Unless you want to do the honors? You can't tell people why, I beg. My family, my career, everyone will know. You should have thought about that before you fucked a stranger in his apartment while wearing the ring I gave you. I get out of the car on shaking legs and watch him drive away. 3 hours later, my phone starts buzzing with calls from confused wedding guests. Father Miguel from our church calls personally. Maya, my dear, David called to cancel tomorrow's ceremony. He seemed very upset but wouldn't explain. Is everything all right? Father, there's been a family emergency, I lie. But those calls are nothing compared to what comes next. By Sunday morning, what was supposed to be my wedding day, I'm viral on social media in the worst possible way. Someone, I suspect Jessica, David's sister who's never liked me, has shared the story in a local Facebook group. From there, it spreads like wildfire. Local bride cheats at bachelorette party, groom cancels wedding is trending on Twitter. Screenshots of text conversations are everywhere. My face is plastered across gossip blogs. I can't leave my apartment. Marcus, my neighbor, has actually taken pictures of reporters outside our building. My phone won't stop ringing. Rebecca, my boss at the marketing agency, calls Sunday afternoon. Maya, I need you to take some time off. This situation, it's affecting our company's reputation. We have clients asking questions. Rebecca, please, I can explain. There's nothing to explain. Take a leave of absence. We'll reassess in a few weeks. Even my own family is struggling. My mom calls, crying. How could you do this to us, Maya? She sobs. We raised you better than this. Mrs. Patterson from next door actually came over to ask if the rumors were true. I didn't know what to say. Mom, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this, Maya. Your father won't even talk about it. He's so ashamed. The worst part is the comments online. Strangers are dissecting my life, calling me every horrible name imaginable. My Instagram posts from the past year are being screenshot and analyzed. Karen Stevens, a woman I barely know from David's office, posts a long Facebook rant. Women like Maya Chen are exactly what's wrong with this generation. No morals, no loyalty. Thank God David found out before it was too late. But it's Amanda Lewis, my former college roommate, who delivers the cruelest blow. She posts screenshots of our private conversations from months ago where I'd complained about wedding stress. She captions it, "Seems like Maya was planning this betrayal all along. Feel sorry for David." By Tuesday, I've lost my job, my reputation, and most of my friends. Sarah is the only one still taking my calls. "Maya, I love you, but this is a mess I can't fix," she says. "You need to figure out how to rebuild your life from scratch." "I know," I whisper. "I just don't know how." She's right, but I have no idea where to start. 2 weeks after my wedding was supposed to happen, I'm living in a studio apartment across town, working as a waitress at Murphy's Diner and going by my middle name, Anne, hoping people won't recognize me. That's when Ryan Torres finds me. "Well, well, look who it is," he says, sliding into a booth in my section during the lunch rush. The famous runaway bride. My hands start shaking as I approach his table with the coffee pot. "What do you want?" "Just coffee and a chat with an old friend." He smiles that same predatory smile that had fooled me 3 weeks ago. "Seems like your life got pretty interesting after our night together." "You need to leave," I whisper, glancing around to make sure my manager Bob isn't watching. "Actually, I need to thank you. All that publicity about me being a violent criminal, turns out it was great for business. Women love a bad boy, you know. I've had more dates in the past 2 weeks than I had all year." I stare at him in disbelief. "You're proud of this?" "Proud, Maya. I'm grateful. That assault charge? Dropped. Turns out Crystal Martinez was lying about the whole thing, something about wanting to get back at me for not calling her after our hookup. Your statement actually helped prove my innocence." The coffee pot slips from my numb fingers, crashing to the floor and splattering hot coffee everywhere. Several customers look over as I kneel to clean up the mess. "Let me help you with that," Ryan says, crouching down beside me. "You know, Maya, you and I should grab dinner sometime, now that you're single and all." "Are you insane?" I hiss, wiping up coffee with paper towels. "You ruined my life." "I didn't ruin anything. You made your choices that night, just like I made mine. The difference is, I'm not ashamed of mine. Get away from me." "Come on, Maya. We had fun that night. Why can't we have fun again?" "Because I'm not that person anymore." "Sure you are. You're just in denial." After he leaves, I sit in the bathroom stall and cry until there are no tears left. This man, who had been the catalyst for destroying everything I'd built, is thriving while I'm scraping together enough money to pay rent. But as I stare at my reflection in the cracked bathroom mirror, something shifts inside me. For 3 weeks, I've been drowning in self-pity and shame. Maybe it's time to stop being a victim of my own mistakes and start fighting back. 3 months after the worst night of my life, I make a decision that changes everything. I stop running from what I've done and start facing it head-on. It starts with Dr. Rachel Kim, the therapist I've been avoiding because I can't afford her rates. I finally swallow my pride and call her office. "Dr. Kim, this is Maya Chen. I know you probably saw the news about me, but I need help, and I was wondering if you offer sliding scale payments." "Maya," she says during our first session, "you can't heal from something you refuse to acknowledge fully. You made a terrible mistake, but you're not a terrible person." Those words are the first crack of light I've seen in months. I also start attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, not because I'm an alcoholic, but because I need to understand how I let alcohol become an excuse for destroying my life. Tom, a recovering addict who's been sober for 5 years, becomes an unexpected mentor. "The thing about rock bottom," he tells me after a meeting, "is that it gives you a solid foundation to build on. You can't get any lower, so every step from here is up. But how do you live with the shame?" I ask him. You don't live with it, he says. You learn from it. Big difference. At the diner, I stop hiding behind the name Anne. When Maggie, a regular customer, recognizes me one day and makes a snide comment about cheating brides, I look her straight in the eye. Yes, I made a terrible mistake that hurt people I loved. I'm working every day to be better than I was. She's so surprised by my honesty that she actually apologizes. David and I have no contact, but through mutual friends, I hear he's seeing someone new, Jennifer, a teacher from his sister's school. The news stings, but I realize what I feel isn't jealousy. It's relief. He deserves someone who won't betray his trust. Sarah and I are slowly rebuilding our friendship. She'd been hurt that I'd lied to her. You're different now, she tells me over coffee one afternoon. Sadder, but more real somehow. She's right. I'm sadder, but I'm also more honest than I've ever been. I'm learning that there's strength in admitting your failures instead of pretending to be perfect. For the first time in months, I start to believe I might actually survive this. 1 year later, I stand in the same bridal salon where my world had collapsed, but this time I'm there as Emma's maid of honor. She'd asked me 3 times if I was sure I could handle it. Maya, you look good, she says as I help her into her dress. Different, but good. She's right. I look different because I am different. The woman who had cheated at her bachelorette party is gone, replaced by someone who understands that redemption isn't about erasing your mistakes. It's about learning to live with them, honestly. Are you nervous? I ask her, adjusting her veil. Terrified, she laughs. But good terrified, you know? I do know. I remember that feeling, though it feels like a lifetime ago. I've gotten a new job at a nonprofit organization helping women in crisis situations. Ms. Patricia Gonzalez, the director, had hired me, despite my public scandal. Sometimes the people who fall in the hardest are the ones who can help others climb back up, she'd told me during my interview. At Emma's reception, I see David for the first time since that terrible day in his car. He's there with Jennifer, and they look genuinely happy together. When our eyes meet across the room, he nods. Not friendly, but not hostile either. It's acknowledgement, maybe even a kind of closure. Later, as I drive home alone, I think about the person I'd been a year ago, that Maya had been so afraid of imperfection that she'd built her entire identity around being the good girl. This Maya, the one driving home to a small apartment with secondhand furniture and a rescue dog named Hope, knows how to fail and get back up. She knows how to apologize sincerely and how to forgive herself without minimizing the pain she's caused others. My phone buzzes with a text from Ryan. Over the months, he's continued to contact me sporadically. This time it reads, "Saw you at the wedding today. You clean up nice. Want to grab drinks?" A year ago, that text would have sent me into a panic spiral. Tonight, I simply block his number and delete the message. Some chapters of your life don't deserve to be revisited. As I pull into my driveway, I realize something profound. I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. I'm starting over, but I'm not starting from nothing. Come on, Hope, I say to my dog as we walk to the front door. Let's go home. I'm starting from wisdom earned the hardest way possible, and for the first time in over a year, that feels like enough.